Abandoned in a lawless city, Joanne and Tim Miller from Rockhampton and Gary and Cynthia Jones from Brisbane. They survived for 5 days under the constant threat of death. Today, the emotion of saying goodbye to fellow tourists was still overwhelming. There simply wasn't any more room in this early morning dash to safety.
No idea. I mean, I'm to the point that I don't know if I can cope anymore. It's just really, really bad.
Yeah, well, we'll get you out of here and hopefully get you on the way home.
They could take only the basics.
Walking out with nothing is very hard to do. Our life, for the last 5 weeks, is in our 2 suitcases. We're walking out with just a pair of knickers.
Then the 2 Queensland couples had to take the most horrifying walk of their lives, past corpses, gangs of looters and armed men.
Very scary. That was just walking down in the car. It was just horrific. Actually, that short walk, I mean, what was it, 100 yards or something? And it was probably one of the longest walks I've ever known.
You could see it on their faces. It was just a few blocks to a makeshift police station, but an extremely dangerous journey. Our police driver was armed and ready to shoot.
I think you're probably the safest spot you can be in right now.
You feel good to be out of there? Right. I'm sure they'll be okay.
Fantastic.
Then we heard of another Australian couple, Jack and Gloria Slinger from Perth, also stranded and living on the streets nearby, with no one willing to help.
I haven't heard anything from the Australian government and certainly no cooperation.
It was a very tight squeeze, but no one was complaining.
I want to saddle here.
All 6 Australians were taken out in a heavily armed convoy organised by 7 News.
Y'all lead, we'll follow, put them in the centre.
It was along these same streets that people had been robbed and shot.
So we came in here yesterday and it was very dangerous.
As we passed the first police checkpoints, we could breathe a little easier and reflect on what might have been.
I thought I was going to die. It's put me right off America. The support that has not been here for anybody.
Our tourists waited days for buses that never arrived. Well, here on the outskirts of New Orleans, there's no shortage of them. Line upon line waiting to go in. It makes no sense. We were able to help a handful of Australians today, but it's believed at least 50 others are still trapped in the city. Finally, a chance to call loved ones worrying at home.
We just got out. Things were not very good, but we saved. Channel 7 got us out.
Just a few kilometres outside of the madness, life was normal, and for the tourists, their first cooked meal in almost a week.
It's indescribable how relieved we are. It's just as if we've just come out of a nightmare.
Kiss the ground when I get home, literally.
Very much so.
This was meant to be a trip of a lifetime, but nothing was as good as leaving.
September.
Thank you.
In New Orleans, Mike Amor, 7 News.